hub. We've got a whole day of brilliant presentations today, and we're going to peak really early this morning with a brilliant presentation from Bluefix. Now, if you're thinking of having lithium installed in your motorhome or campervan, this is the place to be. I'm assuming that is why you're here. So Mark and Luke are going to be on stage telling us all about that in a minute. We hope to have some questions afterwards. On your tables, there are some little white forms. If you've got a question of anything in a general nature to do with motorhome or campervans, we can include that on the podcast. So I'm Matt from the Motorhome Matt podcast, and I'm delighted to welcome two Feld musicians to the stage. Both are accomplished guitarists that now do something very different for a living. Will you please give a warm welcome to Mark and Luke from Bluefix.
Wow, what an intro.
I know, right? Better than your intro.
No pressure. Well, hello everyone. Yes, I'm Luke.
And I'm Mark.
And we are Bluefix.
We are indeed.
What are Bluefix? Who are we?
We install off-grid electrical systems in the campervans and motorhomes. We take your motorhome and we make it a little bit more off-grid, so you don't have to worry about plugging in all the time.
Yeah, we enable you to just disappear into the mountains or the wilderness without worrying, no anxiety, just generate your own electricity and just off you go.
Wilderness and mountains. I was thinking about Aldi car parks and lay-bys, but you know, whatever.
Yeah. Okay. So before we get into that in a bit more detail, I thought we'd start with how we got started and how we got into this. Well, for me, I've kind of taken a hobby and it's got a little bit out of hand, a little bit out of control actually. So I built and bought my own campervan back in 2016. Quickly developed into a very big hobby of mine. I really enjoyed it and I was filming it and vlogging it like most people do on YouTube these days. So yeah, I was building this campervan. I just did a really awful job of the electrics. I had no clue. I was a YouTube learner myself, and there's a lot of misinformation out there as well as good information, but it's hard to filter out all the bad stuff. So I did a really poor job at first, but as the years went on, I was helping people out do jobs, wasn't I?
Yeah.
Well, my business at the time, I was pressure washing. I was doing driveways and patio cleaning and things. But as soon as that lockdown hit, 2020, the phone just stopped ringing. I just had no work at all. So as I mentioned, I was filming all this stuff. So I had a bit of a social media presence back then. So I put a little announcement out. Does anyone need a hand on their vans doing odd jobs and things? And I did that for probably a year, driving up and down the country. Became the diesel heater guy for a while, didn't I?
You did, yeah.
Thankfully, I don't have to do those anymore. But so yeah, I did that for a while. But I was doing a lot of electrics on the side, and I kind of developed this OCD for really neat electrics, and especially with Victron products, which are these blue boxes that you'll see in a minute.
And at the time, I've been working in IT and electrical for about 25 years, and I was getting quite bored with it. Wanted to do something else. And then lockdown came around and van life with it. And I got involved with Victron kit kind of by accident really, but it was quite technical and I'm a techie person, so it was kind of a natural thing. And after a while I got known as the Victron guy and I started supplying Luke and other people with Victron kit and supporting them.
You were, yeah. So Mark would sell me the stuff and I would drive to the customer's house and I'd fit it, and if I needed a technical question, because I'm not a techie guy at all. I can do things with my hands, but I don't have much up here actually. So Mark, I get him on the phone. Mark, how do I do this? How do I do that? So you'd help me with all that kind of stuff. But yeah, so I was posting all these installs I would do on Facebook and Instagram, and because of that, one day I got a phone call. Well, actually it was a message, but I got a message from someone claiming that they were Victron themselves. So I messaged you because you know Victron, or knew them better than I did.
Yeah, I got this text message. Do you know this guy? It's like, that's Jono, that's the videographer for Victron. So I rang him out straight away. I was like, you know who that is, right? We need to do something with this because Victron want to film Luke doing an install.
We were giddy. We're big fans of Victron.
Big fans of Victron.
So I couldn't believe
it.
So he wanted to film us, and as it happened, I was about to redo all the electrics in my personal campervan, so I told him that. I said I was going to make a nice display case out of it, and whether he'd be interested in filming that, and he said yes.
Yeah.
So was it 4 days of filming?
Yeah. Well, I decided that this is obviously a good time to launch something off the back of this. So Luke and I met up over the road at Governor's Arms.
That pub over there we met?
Yeah, so this is the birthplace of Bluefix. this place.
It is. So yeah, we met at that little corner table in Nardine Line, and Mark pitched the idea of partnering up, and we shook hands.
We did. We registered the domain there and then.
Yeah.
Came up with the company name and off we went.
That was it.
The Victron video came out and we launched the company on the back of that.
Yeah, so those 4 days filming was really exciting, really fun.
Yeah.
And not to mention, I got a load of Victron goodies from him to put in my van as well, which was amazing because they're not the cheapest products, but they're considered to be one of the best out there, and certainly safest. So
very good products. They last a long time. They got a 5-year warranty, so that's why we fit them.
yeah, so after a few years, that was a few years ago now, the video that the Victron released of us, and jump-started the company, didn't it?
Yeah.
So that's kind of how we got started. So we're going to talk about lithium batteries for a little bit. We get asked a lot of questions.
Yeah, I think the main question we get asked is lithium a drop-in replacement for lead acid or gel? And the answer to that is no, not really.
No, they charge at different voltages. So in order to prolong the life of your battery, our advice is to get the correct chargers that support lithium charging.
Yeah, that's right, because the gel profile will typically charge it, but then your last line of defence is the BMS in that battery, which are generally very good, but wouldn't you prefer the charging algorithm to be correct in the first place? And the other issue is, in some of these systems, when the BMS, which is the control system in the battery, which all lithiums have, detects that it's got a higher voltage, it could turn off to stop that happening. And if you've got a Sargent system, for instance, that Sargent system will reset, go into low voltage, comes back on, the lights come back on in the middle of the night, and that's not the sort of thing you want.
Yeah. So although they're coming down in price now, they're still not the cheapest batteries out there. So wouldn't you rather have a safe chargers that look after your battery as well as making it last a lot longer?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So some of you may have heard some of the dangers of lithium batteries. Now there's a big difference between types of lithium batteries, and Mark will tell you what they are.
Yeah, so the batteries you have in your phones, we call them lithium batteries. So they're lithium ion. These are lithium iron phosphate batteries that we use in the campervans and motorhomes. Now, the cell technology is very, very different. It's not as volatile, it's not as powerful, but it's not as volatile. So typically, with a lithium iron phosphate battery, if they get overcharged or they get pierced, they will vent off gases, but they won't explode and cascade, run away. So it's not like you're going to run away from a ball of fire, you're going to be running away from a ball of stinky gas. But the point is, they're very safe.
They are indeed, yeah. So we fit them, we do in 4 big installs a week. Our unit is sort of Lempster, near Hereford. So we're fitting these batteries nearly every day of the week. So, and we've never had any issues, never had...
No, but I mean, that's the thing with a safe battery, you need a safe installation. So all our installations are correctly fused, isolation. We isolate batteries and solar, so there's new regulations coming out for lithium batteries and certain crossings and campsites that require that. So it's an important thing to have.
Yeah, you work hard on keeping us up to the latest regs and standards.
Yeah, all the electrical standards we follow, all the British standards in the UK. We try and keep up with all the additions and all the new things that come out, like recently, double pole breakers, earth bonding. If you've got gas, you're supposed to bond that as well now in a campervan. So it's the list is ever increasing.
We also follow the guidebook for Victron. If Victron say this is how it's done, then that's gospel to us.
Yeah, I think the cable sizes and the way it should be wide, then it's the Victron way. There's what's it called, that book? The Wiring Unlimited. You can download it off the Victron website. We've got copies on our stand, and they're free. And it shows all the sort of standards that Victron expect in their installations.
Absolutely. So, chargers. How do we charge batteries in motorhomes?
Well, for off-grid, we've got solar and DC charging. Now, DC charging is different from split charge because it's higher power and it's intelligent as well. So where you have let's say, Euro 6 vehicle where you have lower voltage in your alternator in your starter system, you need a DC charger because it needs to boost that voltage, because it may only be 11.5 volts coming off the alternator when the engine's not working hard. But that's no good for charging lithium batteries. You need a constant voltage and a constant amps. So that's why we always put in a DC-DC charger.
So the old technology was the split charge relay. You may have heard that. So what that does is that engages when you turn the engine on and just sends constant, as much charge as it can towards your leisure battery. That's not good for your life of your battery. These chargers that we fit have 3 different states of charging. So they only give the battery exactly what it needs. And when it's full, it just trickle charges, and they know it's called float mode, and it just looks after it, doesn't it?
That's it, yeah.
There's also hookup charging.
Yeah, hookup charging is important. Now, I think this is probably the main thing where lots of people disagree. It's like, can you charge? Yes, you can on a standard, let's say a Sargent 3-stage charger. Will it charge it? Yes, it will, but it won't maintain it correctly. It'll just keep throwing voltage at it, and then you've got to worry about the BMS doing its job. So we always change the on-system chargers to like an IP22, like a Victron mains charger, which has a lithium profile.
It does, absolutely. So we kind of have separated our jobs, the type of jobs, into 3 stages, 3 tiers.
Yeah, sort of 3 tiers of the work that we do, yeah.
So everybody's needs are different. Some people like to be fully off-grid for weeks at a time with big inverter systems powering all their household appliances, but some just want to go away for weekends and just have a basic 12-volt system.
Yeah, that's right. So like a typical entry system, which is 12-volt only, which is like, let's say for argument's sake, a 110 amp hour battery, with maybe 150 watts of solar, a DC-DC charger, and then hooked up just a 12-volt system in the van.
Yeah, so 100 amp hours of lithium, that we say that's sort of long weekend usage. So that's up on our basic sort of 12-volt package. But then we kind of step it up to what we call the microwave package. Funny enough, you're able to run microwaves with it.
So this, you need an inverter that's large enough to power a microwave, which,
so,
it's like the Easy Plus or something like that, the 1600 VA.
Yeah.
So it's a medium-sized setup with probably 230 amp hours of battery.
And 350 watts of solar's in that package?
Yeah, ideally, yeah. And that makes you sort of like, with 350 watts of solar and 230 amp hours of lithium, you're pretty much self-sufficient for the summer. But the winter it's a little bit different. You're relying more on your DC charging and hookup.
So we don't get much sun in the winter in this country, do we?
We
So
don't get much
DC
sun
charging
in
is when you're driving, you'll get put in charge into your leisure battery. So yeah, we can quite often fit 2 of the DC chargers.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, give a bit more speed on the charging.
Absolutely. So the final tier is what we call the electric cooking package. So everyone's getting away from gas now. Air fryers and induction hobs are kind of what everyone wants to use. And it's also, if you can generate your own electricity, why would you want to have to buy another fuel source? Gas is becoming quite tricky to find now and then. Yeah,
we're fitting more and more sort of full off-grid packages now with huge amounts of lithium. People are wanting household appliances. We did an overland the other day, which had a washing machine, had your standard induction hob and oven.
In fact, this one behind us on the picture,
similar to that. It's going to be the same, isn't it?
He had a full washing machine, household washing machine in there.
And a dishwasher.
Dishwasher?
Yeah, dishwasher on that one as well. Yeah, so, they really want the home from home with these things. And it's doable. It's possible. It's not cheap.
No,
but,
And that's kind of on the extreme end. A lot of people don't need such a big system as that. That's kind of a bit elaborate, but, anything's possible. You don't have to take up so much space in the cupboard but we normally find ways to cram everything in, but we do have YouTube and Instagram where you can go and see all of our work.
We've done, like Steve Radford's van, we've done similar to that, Contiki the other day, didn't we? It was, similar setup to that.
We often have people asking for a Radford setup, don't we?
Yeah, we get asked for Radfords, yes, that's quite a common thing then.
Price-wise for the tier packages, Mark?
Yeah, they start around about £1,500 to £2,000 for the basic package, 12-hour only.
Yeah, these prices are including everything, including fitting and everything. So sort of 2, 3, maybe for a basic system. This includes nice lithium batteries.
So that would include your lithium battery, your solar panels, solar charge controller, DC charging.
Yeah. The middle tier is between sort of £4,000 to £5,000, all fitted. This is all your bigger inverters and extra solar and bigger batteries and things like that. And then the final electric cooking package is just fully self-sufficient, and off-grid is sort of 7 around then.
Yeah, between 7 and 10 when you're looking at something that's like top end. But,
Something we've been doing a lot of is 24-volt systems.
Yeah, we found recently, I think that the 24-volt systems are much kinder on the electrics. I think a little bit more gentle, aren't they? Because 12 volt, when you're generating, like you're pulling 200 amps, it's, you need really, really thick cable. With the 24 volt system, they're easy to integrate into motorhomes when you know what you're doing, and you can use the 12 volt system in the motorhome as it was, but the power being generated from taking out the batteries is half. It's far more efficient. The cables are smaller. It's actually cheaper in the long run to have a 24 volt system than it is a 12 volt.
It is. With the 12 volt systems, we quite often use cable thicker than your thumb, 95 mil square cable we often use, but as Mark says, you can use smaller cable. Cable's expensive, so you can save a lot of money by going that way. We did one last week, a similar sort of van to this, and it's an off-grid van, and we went for a 24 volt system. We had a 5 kVA inverter.
5 kVA, 5,000.
So he had a household oven and microwave and a washing machine. We put it all on to test out the system. And it was purring, just a little quiet purring.
But it didn't like his wife's electric blanket, did it?
The electric blanket, for some reason, it was
cheap electrics.
It was cheap electrics.
But yes.
So how do we monitor these systems, Mark?
Well, we can monitor these systems. So a lot of our high-end systems, we install a Servo GX. And the Servo is like a brain that links all of this together. And it displays it on the screen in the vehicle as well. So you've got this screen here. And this connects to the internet. So you can see all that's on the screen from the internet. So whatever you're doing, your van's doing, if you're, if say it's in storage or it's on drive, or you're away for the day, you can always see what's going on in your van. But the other good thing about it is if you've got an issue, there's so much data that's logged by this thing, it's nearly always possible to figure out what's a problem by looking at the data. So we've had people, all over the world that have had issues that we've managed to fix remotely and get them up and running.
That is the best selling point of it. It's like breakdown recovery, but you don't have to come back to us, which can cost you time and fuel. More often than not, we can tweak things online and change settings. So, because everyone's needs are different, so we are quite often, tweak settings for people while they're on the road. But that is kind of next level. You don't have to go for that kind of option. There is a Bluetooth battery monitor that we fit by Victron called a Smart Shunt. It works with most of the Victron items are Bluetooth, so you can monitor them all on an app. If you're happy with that, then that's all you need. Then fine. But it is a bit of a peace of mind to go for the sort of internet monitoring systems.
But we're all about fitting really good systems and customer service as well. We try to give as best we can. We try to be available on the phone whenever possible. Sometimes at the weekends it's best endeavours, but we did fix somebody quite late last night, didn't we?
We don't stop working. This morning I was telling someone how to change some settings and things. We're just always working, and we love that people can just get hold of us really easily. We try not to hide behind the whole 9 to 5 thing. If you're available on the Sunday afternoon, then we'll pick up the phone and we'll sort you out. So we offer more than just electrics now, don't we? We're doing branching into different things. We're doing diesel heaters. Thankfully, I'm not doing them anymore. I can have someone do them for us. What else do we offer, Mark?
We do Wi-Fi as well, 4G systems. We use motorhome Wi-Fi mostly because they just tend to work and they've got really good support as well.
And Starlink now and then as well.
What's that?
Starlink?
Oh yes, we fit 12 volt Starlink systems as well. So if you've got the Starlink system, we can fit a system in the van that allows you don't have to have the whole Starlink thing. You can run it off 12 volts, so just makes it a little bit tidier, a bit neater, and takes a little less power.
So where can everybody find us?
Well, we are based in Hereford. Just outside of Hereford. Now we've moved now, so we're in Leominster now.
we kind of outgrew where we were and been working on some of the bigger vehicles. We needed a bit more space to stretch our legs a bit, so we're in Leominster. But we're on YouTube. We've got lots of videos. We try to do as many videos as we can, kind of informative videos on how to use this equipment or how to set it up.
We're also at all the shows this year, all the Warner shows. So if you ever want to chat, pop in and see us on the stand. We'll be there. Absolutely.
We do have a stand here. We're at stand 50, which is a big blue trailer with Bluefix written all over it. You can't miss it. But that's how they can find us. Right?
That's it.
So we're going to open up the floor to any questions. If anyone's got any questions that they want to shout out, then we can take some questions from anyone.
Thank you, guys. That was really insightful. I love the way you did the 3 tiers. That was really useful. Right, any questions from anyone, please? Yeah, great. 1 second, I'll bring in the mic, then we can all hear you.
Is it better to have two 12-volt lithiums or one large one?
Well,
Well, I think these days, I think the technology is far more reliable. And it all depends on your needs, to be fair. Sometimes out of two batteries, you can get a better draw. So you can take more power out of two batteries than you can one. But again, now the BMSs are allowing for some very high current draw. So the advantage of having 2 over 1 is a lot less than it used to be. But yeah, so it depends on your particular situation. But the good thing is about having 2 batteries, you always do have the one battery. Let's say one fails, you can still carry on with just one battery.